Most people's camping lights are just simply lights. But for the back of my LandCruiser, I've managed something completely different and way better. So I installed dual colour LED strip lights turned on automatically with a motion sensor. Firstly, I must say that I didn't come up with this idea all by myself. I first saw it on the Aussie Arvo's YouTube channel where they put a motion sensor light in the back of their four-wheel drive wagon. And I just thought, wow, that is such a good idea. I'm gonna do it myself. And if you wanna do this yourself, I would go check out their video as well because it's a really good video and yeah, definitely recommend it. But I think that they've missed one crucial component which will make the whole setup 10 times better. So right now, I think my lighting setup for the back of the Cruiser would be what 90% of people have. Just a simple switch on the side here. You can turn on and your lights come on. My lights are mounted up here on the tailgate. Just a simple strip light right up there you can see. And you can tell my lights are pretty old because only half the strip light actually works. So it's definitely time for an upgrade. If you're interested, the lights up there now are the hardcore ones, and it's got the three modes, the amber, the white, and the daylight one, or the one in between, whatever you call it, and on the dimmer as well. It's been a really good light, it has lasted a few years, but I think it is time for an upgrade, and especially now having these lights on a motion sensor and this other thing that I'm adding in, which I'll show you a bit later, but those two upgrades will make this light install so much better, so I can't wait. Let's dive straight in and I'll show you what we're working with. So here are all the parts I'm using for my install. I've got the lights, got the motion sensor, and I've got my special other part, which I'll show you a bit later. It'll make sense why we need it a little bit later. The first part, which is probably the easiest to explain, is the motion sensor. Now this is the exact same one on the Aussie Arvo's video because honestly it looked like the best one. I had to look around, but theirs seemed to be pretty solid. It's pretty simple. It just has two terminals for positive and negative going in, and then two for positive and negative going out. So it's pretty much just a switch, but instead of pressing a button, it just sees motion and turns on. The next thing is the lights. Now, you're probably wondering, what lights did you get, Jezza? Because there's so many different options out there, it's almost impossible to pick the right one. So most companies make a white and an amber light where they have the two options. You can choose white or amber, which is getting closer to what I want. But if you remember my video I did, amber lights can still be seen by bugs. It's still within their spectrum of, the light that they can see. So it's not quite good enough. Whereas red light is on the very, very end of the spectrum of bugs. So in theory, they shouldn't be able to see it that well. So the lights I need for the back of the car is a red light, but also you do want white light as well, so that you can see, because red light is a bit hard to see, and literally no main brands do it. There is only one, which is Off-Road Living, who I got lights off for my rooftop tent. They do a red and white, which is really, really cool. They're really good lights. I recommend them 100%. But they don't make a light that you can switch from the ground. I couldn't use their lights for this because I couldn't have used my motion sensor then, which means I had to go into eBay and search for red and white lights that I could have on a switch, and I actually found some. Now they're not your traditional strip lighting or anything, because they're actually a tailgate light for a car. It's meant to be like one of those cool things that you stick on the back of your tub on your ute, and like it lights up and then there's like a sequential indicator or whatever. But I don't need all that. I just need the reversing light, which is white, and the brake light, which is red. Wire them both with the motion sensor and have a red and a white light, both on the one strip light, which is really cool. It's a bit of an unusual solution to the problem, but I'm so keen to see if it works, and yeah, I reckon it's actually not a bad idea. Now the last thing then for the install is the switch. Now this switch is a double pole, double throw switch, which basically means that it switches two sets of contacts two ways. Now let's get it out. You can switch it this way, back to the center, or this way. So my plan is to have it, and I'll have white lights or red lights. And that's why I needed it to be double pole, because the motion sensor only has one set of contacts. So I have to wire it basically where one side of the switch powers the motion sensor, comes back to the other side of the switch, and then powers the light. So that's what I went and bought. So now that you know what's going on and I know what's going on, we can rip out the old lights and the old switch, and I'll chuck in all the new stuff and we'll see how it works. So now that all of the old stuff is ripped out and all the panels are all open and exposed, we can get into running our new cable. So I worked out by a rough drawing I did that I need 5 cables to go from the switch up to the motion sensor. Now the easiest way to do this is with just trailer plug wire, or I don't know what you call it, but it's like the cable you use to wire up trailer plugs. Now it looks like one thick cable, but inside is actually 5 smaller cores, and that'll give me my 5 wires to go from the switch to the motion sensor. So yeah, I'll get stuck into that and I'll get back to you when I'm done. Rightio, that's it. I'm all done, I think, I hope. Yeah, I just finished doing the switch just then. It was a little bit tricky trying to figure out which wire goes to which pin on the back of the switch, but I'll put a diagram up here so you can see and save yourself a bit of trouble. The motion sensor at the top there looks alright. It does stick out a little bit, so I think I might paint the actual green terminal thing here and the wires, just paint them black. And then also the strip light up under here looks pretty nice. It is, yeah, sitting there nicely, stuck there with the sticky back. I'm not sure how strong it is being an eBay one, but we'll see how it goes. All that's left to do now is to wait till it gets dark, and we can actually test out to see if this works. Okay, so I've waited and waited and waited, and it is finally night time, if you couldn't tell. But I'm back outside with the cruiser, ready to test this thing. So I'm gonna press this switch up, which should be the white lights turning on. Oh, that's actually a pretty decent amount of light, really. Like, I didn't know if it would be super bright because it's an eBay light, but it's actually heaps of light. Like, it's not super, super bright, but it's enough, like, I can see in the drawers easily. Yeah, no issues there at all. You can see in the back of the car, no worries. In the fridge as well. There's a light in the fridge, but, you know, you can still see with just this light. It's actually not bad. Like, I don't mind that amount of light. This motion sensor actually has a setting on it where you can adjust how long it waits before it turns off. It can go all the way up to 10 minutes, but I've got it set down to the lowest setting, which is 1 minute. So while I'm standing here moving around, it won't turn off. But if I move away, it should switch off after a minute. Yep, that's turned off there. So that was about a minute. I was counting in my head and got to like 58 seconds. So that's actually pretty accurate. Now if I move up towards the back of the car, oh bang, straight away I took one step and it's on. It must have some decent range, this thing, but that's gonna be perfect. That's actually gonna be so good. The main question though to work out is how does the red lights work? So if we switch this switch to the middle position, it should turn off. But if we press it all the way down, bang out, ooh. That's a bit strange, not too sure what is going on there. A bit interesting, but it seems to be settling down now and working all right. So yeah, it's actually giving off a decent amount of glow for an eBay red light. Like, it's nothing amazing, but you can see everything you need to see. Like, you can see inside the drawers clear enough, like, you know, to get something out in the middle of the night. You can see where the rear tyre is and where the jerrycan holders are, so you don't bump into them at night. So it's actually doing a pretty decent job of lighting up the whole area. And being the red light, it should keep the bugs away. The real test will be when I'm out camping next. I'll give it a go and let you guys know how it goes. But for now, it seems to be working great. And yeah, it actually looks pretty all right as well. So the lights have just turned off. And if I move towards it now, oh, straight away, bang, they're on. Doing a weird flashy sequence. I'll have to look into that and see why it's doing that. But after that, it's settled down and yeah, it's working perfectly. So that's really, really cool. So I worked out why the red lights flash a bit when I turn them on at the start. And it's basically because it's a dodgy eBay light. And they've, for some reason, wired the indicators into the brake lights. So yeah, I don't know why they've done it, but if you brake, the indicators come on, and if you indicate, the brakes come on. So it's just like they're all connected, which is a bit dodgy, but that's just how they've wired them up internally, so that's what happens, and that's why it is flashing. So if you don't want the flashing, don't buy a dodgy eBay light, buy a better light, but yeah, that'll answer that question. So there you go guys, that is how I installed dual colour strip lights in the back of the Cruiser on a motion sensor. And yeah, it was really cool to do, really fun job. I also got the chance to test these lights out last weekend. I went camping with a few mates and gave them a go, and it's actually worked really well. I was really impressed by them. Having the lights on a motion sensor actually works really well because, you know, you're sitting by the campfire and you want to get up to the fridge and go get a drink, walk up there and bang, the lights come on automatically. It works really nicely, so super happy with that function. It also was really cool being able to use the white light when I needed extra light there for washing up or cooking, but also having the option to have a red light helped a lot to keep the bugs away. My mate had his awning out with his amber light, and you can tell very easily that the amber light attracted the bugs a lot more than the red lights. Now, the red lights aren't perfect. There were still a few little bugs getting attracted to it, but overall they're a lot better, and I definitely recommend if you're doing this mod in your setup, use red lights over amber if you can, because they attract bugs a lot less. But that's it for this video. As usual, like and subscribe if you do enjoy this kind of content because it helps Ethan and I out a lot. But apart from that, I'll see you all in the next video.